Hey there, welcome back to Krystalklia Talk. I'm your host, Sarah Njeri, and today we're talking about parenting. And this is a conversation that I believe is so timely in our world today. And parenting, it's something that does not come with a manual, but we learn on the job. But how do you do it so that you raise up children that are, esteemed members of the society? With me today to talk about this is Pastor Jared Kataka. He's from Scripture Union. He's a pastor. He works with Scripture Union, whereby they organize book clubs, and just things to help children grow spiritually. But I'll allow him to tell us more about himself. Welcome so much, Pastor.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yes.
You mentioned my name, I'm Pastor Jared Kataka. I work with Scripture Union of Kenya. I'm the county programs coordinator, and basically in the programs surrounds about children.
Yes.
And as we mentioned about a child, you cannot miss to mention about a family. You cannot miss to mention about a church. You cannot miss to mention about the school, because this is where the children are found. Beside working with the Scripture Union, I'm also a father, a father of two daughters. The first daughter is called Abigail, 5 years, and Esther, who is 2.5 years. I also am a pastor also in Kibera, with the church called End Times Gospel Church.
Yes.
Besides that, also I am a director of a community school in Kibera called St. Juliet Education Center.
Okay.
And it's all about serving the children of Kibera.
Wow.
Yes, so that is me. Yes.
That's wonderful. And today's conversation, actually I came to learn of Pastor Jared in a time when I was also engaged in school ministry and we needed training. So one of us, our friends, had his contacts, and that's how we got in contact with him, because we were running programs, pastoral, they're pastoral?
Pastoral instructional,
yeah.
PPI. Yes.
So in Langata, and we got to be trained by them, and from there I got to see the passion that he has for children. And when I was thinking about this conversation, because we are hearing a lot of things that are happening right now with our children, with teenagers making wrong decisions, and we know these decisions come about from the foundation that they've had.
Sure.
And today basically I want us to share on tips and maybe even challenges that parents get to go through as they're raising up their children.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you very much. One of the things as a parent, let's talk about parenting, we must know is that as a parent, we are just but stewards.
That's right.
Because God is the owner of the children, and all of us belongs to Him. So we have been given a very noble role as a parent or parents to be able to raise our children. And for this we are saying that we must be doing it with a lot of consideration, because we will be accounted for how we carried out our parenting. So first of all, if you understand that we are just but stewards, and God is the owner of this, I think we must do it with a lot of consciousness.
That's right.
Because we are accountable. And that's why as we refer to the Bible is very clear that we hold the destiny of our children, we as parents. And that's why we must do it with diligence. We should do it with a lot of reverence, and we should do it with consideration that we are accountable to what we're doing.
Yeah.
So understanding that we are doing it because we are stewards, I think we're now considering things that counts a lot. By raising our children on godly or on a Christian way or on godly values, which is key and which is very important, because what we're doing today, and there's a forum that I was telling people that if we protect our children today, we are protecting the tomorrow, the tomorrow, the future. Because the way we raise our children today, we are securing for tomorrow.
That's right.
So if we don't do it well today, the tomorrow will have a problem.
That's right.
And that's why a lot of investments must be done in children by ensuring that we instill the godly values and we do it in a godly way.
Yes.
Because if we do it in a godly way, and if we consider the godly values, this child will be transformed in a way that, because the first place that we must be very keen is the first teaching or the first school is at home. And I hear many parents say that if there's any problem with the child, it's like, this is how you are taught in school. But the big question is, what do you do as a parent at home?
Yes.
Because the first teaching a child receives is from home.
Yes.
Not even from the church.
That's right.
Because if we do it well from home, it will flow to the church and it will flow in the school.
Yeah.
So we must get things right from home. And for this starts with the parenting. I know the area that we've had a problem is how do we carry out the pre-marriage counseling? Because these things must start from there. Me as a person, I want to get married. Have I been prepared enough to know the responsibility that's awaiting me there?
That's right.
So that things are put right from the beginning. Being shared, the expectation from me, the responsibilities, the role me as a father, or the role me as a mother, understanding from the word go. Because we have gaps. And we must admit that we have got gaps. People enter into marriage without understanding the responsibilities that go with parenting.
That's right.
So after realizing from the word go, I think it will set a good base for this person now to start taking the responsibilities in the role as a parent.
That's right.
I know we've had the challenges of absent parents. Talking of, I've provided everything, there's food and there's everything.
Yeah.
But you know what? My presence, the present ministry is important. As a father, yes, I've provided everything. But a father figure just being around is very important. And for this I'm saying, giving a quality time for your children is key, is very important. Because if I don't give my quality time with them, obviously they'll be involved in other things, and I'll pay idle tomorrow because of the time I did not invest in the lives of my children.
Yes.
I know people have gotten a lot of information on how we should do parenting, and I realized that firstborns sometimes they pose a lot of challenge because yes, I've started doing, and there are a lot of expectation that they're coming from outside and from me also, that this child I must raise him in this way. So we are like trying things on this child and all that, and you know that if you have not very killed the firstborn, sometimes either they can be raised in the right way or in the wrong way, because everything we are now starting with them. But you're saying that if we got things right from the beginning, I think picking up on the raising of children is key and important by values and discipline.
That's right.
And also understanding the development of children, because this information should be able to be shared. And I urge the pastors in the churches that we can use our pulpit also to address these issues to the parents, for them to know their roles and responsibilities, and not only just knowing, also those tips and those the information they require about when the child is responding, is developing. When and what am I supposed to apply in this particular stage of this child if I grow up? Because the way I can address a teenager is not the way I can address my 5-year-old child. So in the level of development, we'll be able to know what are you supposed to apply when. If it's like start giving the limits, when are you supposed to start giving the limits and how? Yes, and you have seen that applying. It's important too also to be practically and actively involved into the lives of our children. And this I mean that we as parents, we need to stand out as role models. I talk about praying. Do we practice that? And I've seen this being practical in my home. And I started teaching my child how to pray by just using 3 words. God bless daddy, God bless mommy, God bless auntie, in Jesus' name, amen. And you start training that, walking with them, even going to church.
Yes.
You're walking together with them to the church. You're walking with them, showing them, even if it's giving, this is money for Jesus. So you're supposed to give money for Jesus. So, and you're showing them how to do it, You are giving them those values and making them to be responsible.
Yes.
You like buying simple things and like, can you share with your sister? You see, these things you need showing them from kuanzia hapo chini. It's key and it's very important.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, I like that, what you're saying, because actually what you talked about, involving, bringing that aspect of teaching people about their roles as parents, even during the time when they're being counseled before they get married. Because I believe so many enter into marriage ignorant, just thinking about the love that you have for each other, but you forget about other responsibilities that come about in building a home. And the other thing that you've also mentioned is this aspect of absentee parents. That, not that he's not providing, but he is providing, and he feels that he is doing everything that he needs to do. So actually when you question their absence, somebody is shocked because they don't know that is the way they were socialized. That's the same kind of treatment they got from their parents. So they are wondering, how else do you want me to do it? Because this is what I know. And I believe there are things that we need to unlearn, and there are also things that we need to learn, because the way you were brought up may not be 100% right. And this is something that you also were mentioning just before we sat down, about us not bringing our experiences, how we've been brought up into our parenting. Maybe you can talk about that.
Yeah, I know. The way we were brought up, I remember, it was like authoritarian in a way of my way is your highway. My way is your highway. And it's like, this is the only way to go. And not giving a room for me as a child to give my input, or also to share my views.
That's right.
And all that. And because of that, you know that the thing that you missed in life, because this is the way of the father and this is how it is. And I remember my father, back then, they nicknamed him Mkuu wa Sheria. So it was like, this is the way. So, and as we look at the children for today, they've got a lot of information. A lot of information. It is like they will tell you, this is my right. They know their rights.
They know their rights,
know the way. So you know the technologies and the media and all that, children are exposed into so many information. And you cannot say that the way we grew up, the same way they will grow. You are supposed to raise them up. So we are saying that we must understand the world of the children of today. What is their world? And after understanding the world of our children for today, we can be able to know how and when can we be able to come in to help them. But I actually encourage parents that for we to be able to get involved into the life of our children, we must create what we call a safe space. A safe space for our children, whereby children can be able to share freely their feelings, their emotions, the challenges they are going through. They can be able freely come and share, Daddy, you know, this is the experience I've had.
Yes.
And if you create a safe space, I think that you'll be able to meet the need of each child. And because we have the community,
Yes.
besides the child coming from home, there's the community that will teach your child. And you're talking of the community, you're talking of the media, the social media, you're talking of the school, you're talking of the church, you're talking of the friends, the people who are around them.
Yes.
If you cannot play your part well, and if you cannot create a space where a child can be able to share freely to you, he'll result into looking for other alternatives, and he'll get the wrong information that will deter this child from getting the right way.
Yes.
So, as a parent, as a father or a mother, or you as a couple, can you be able to create a safe space where our children can feel loved, can feel accepted,
Yes.
can feel valued, can feel appreciated, and because of that environment, children will always prefer and feel identified in that particular home.
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe also, as they feel these things and you model these things to them,
Yes.
they are also learning.
Yes.
You know, these are,
Yes.
they learn
Yes.
through socialization.
Sure, sure.
So whatever it is, if we are giving them that love, and of course you cannot outgive love, because one of the things that you've seen that I've also read on social media, and especially children that are in families or have been abused,
Yes.
you find sometimes the parent, one of the parents, maybe the mom, in most cases actually will want to protect the adult.
Yes.
And forget about this child
Sure.
that is innocent, that also needs to be protected and feel that they can, the parent will listen to them and will actually come to their aid. And I believe, because if they feel they don't have that security,
Sure.
they cannot trust you,
Sure.
they will grow up also with this form of there is first and foremost disconnect,
Yes.
but also there is that insecurity
Yes.
and that lack of trust where they will not be able to trust people.
Yes, yes.
So it's important, I believe, for us as parents to make sure that the child knows you are there to protect them.
Sure.
You are there to watch over them, and whatever they tell you, that you will listen and you'll take action, that you're looking out for them.
Sure,
What
sure.
do you think about that?
It's very true.
Yeah.
I tend to believe that for those parents who presume to be very, very busy,
Yeah.
and they've left the parenting responsibilities to like the house girls and all that. It's like okay, everything now has been now to the house girl, and sometimes maybe you may not know whether this child, what is being exposed to, maybe to the abuse and all that, and now you're not aware. For example, there's a time I had this problem, where we were like so busy, not very busy but so busy, and I started seeing something coming out from my daughter. You could like all the time is like creating that fear in her. It's like what's not happening. So there's a day I went and then I came back. The housemate did not know whether I was coming back. So when I came back, I realized that there was a lot of shouting, the girl and all that. Like, what's not happening? So he realized, oh, the father is there. He has come. And he was like, okay. So he realized, okay, so this is what's happening. And we had just to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
We had a conversation about it and they said this is the way to go. Because the child, it was by then 2 years, and I realized there was something happening and it was affecting her. Because like, you could like PP, normally and all that. So the parents should be very keen. They should be available. The children, because there are people who grow up, maybe this child was abused, And when he grows up, he's like, I will hate girls because he got that experience that was so bad. Or maybe it's a girl, you see. So those things will affect the growth, and realize that in the future of this child will be affected by what the circumstance he was in or she was in.
Yes.
So we are saying that we must be very keen, we must be very alert. We need to read the signals that are negative, the signals that are informing negative to the life of this child, that are posing to the threatening of this child.
Yes.
Because I say that abuse is either to this person who has abused, and I've known that this child has been abused, and I've not responded, I've also abused this child. So as a parent, if I know anything that is abnormal that has happened to this child and I don't take an initiative, I'm involved and I'm a victim of abusing this child. So we must, as a parent, the things that we must work out to ensure that you're protecting the life of this child. Because we are the security, we are the people to protect. So, as a father, I should say that as a father, I'm the priest. I'm the priest of the home.
That's right.
So, when I talk about being the priest, I should pray for my children. And praying is all about, I started praying for my child when he was still in the womb and prophesying things about her. So, considering at the conception, you start praying for a child, and when they're out, you start instilling godly values, teaching them to read the word of God, how to pray and all that, making them to go to church and all that, raising an altar at home where we meet and have devotion together. Protecting is all about what is the child consuming, if it is food, if they are friends, if it's information and all that.
Yes.
I am protecting this child from anything. If it's friendship, I must know which friendship are with my children,
Yes.
because they will affect the values or the moral value of my child.
That's right.
Yes, I must also train my children on the relatives and involving them into the family meetings. And me personally, I do it practically. Like we have, if we go at home, we go and meet our parents together. When I call mama or dad, I call them and I give my child to talk to them. What am I teaching them? Also, they need to get concerned about their parents.
Yes.
Because if I don't do that, when they will grow up, my dad was not speaking to, the conversation and all that.
Yes.
So they look simple, but they are informing. It's a way of training.
Yes.
Just calling mama, talking to him, and also involving the child to talk to him.
Yes.
If like making some shopping, we make shopping and we go with the children with them, we give to. You see, you're teaching them this is how we should live.
Yes.
You see. So these things look simple, but they're very meaningful because it's a way of also parenting.
Yes.
There's a time they make mistakes, and when we're making the roles at home, involve just make simple roles at home, but don't like I have made them. Involve them to making, for like the simple things. What are the stations you need to be observing kwa TV? I know they're exposed into seeing that, but like they know and involve together. Oh, hizi ni mzuri, hizi ni mbaya, and they're involved into that. And sometimes when like somebody comes and like puts on in fulani sema hiyo ni ya shetani, you see. Kama ni wimbo, they say, hii ni ya shetani, you see. You are helping to know what's right and what's wrong in a simple way. In a simple way.
Yeah.
It's very important.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Creating boundaries.
Creating boundaries.
Yes.
Yes.
They can know what to go after
Yes.
and what also to withhold from. Because this is helping them.
Yes.
And molding them also. Because if they're exposed to everything,
yes.
that means as they grow up, they will have no boundaries.
Sure.
And anything that comes their way, and especially at this stage where they become teenagers, you know, where they want to experiment, they will now not have any restraint. Everything that they want to do, they will go for it. Because there were no boundaries as they were being raised. They were exposed to watching everything and anything, you know. So that is important. I agree with you about creating boundaries. But also you mentioned also about prayer, that aspect of prayer. You know, in our generation right now, as you say, these children are exposed to a lot. And sometimes also for them to be able to distinguish, they will need, you know, life is spiritual. I believe it's important that we mention that. That there are other aspects that are beyond the physical, what you see. And these things are affecting our children. There are information, there are other voices that are coming, speaking to them. There are other things that want to inform them. But these things are spiritual. So if a child is not yet in that place where they have known, because God is a spiritual being, how they've known how to connect with God, how they can listen to the voice of God, I believe that also you're doing them disservice. That, you know, the people who will say, I will allow them to make the decision for themselves, whether they want to go to church or not. I will give them that opportunity when they are mature enough for them to make the decision. What would you tell such a parent? You know?
I think what you teach your child, because the Bible says, teach the child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from that way. So, as we talk about teaching, we're talking about training. Training is all about showing this is how it's done. And when you're showing them what they're supposed to do, I know sometimes when they're growing up, because we as parents, we must guide them this the way. And sometimes, when we talk about training, sometimes we need to create things that we also give them room to see them doing, so that when they make mistakes, you correct. So like, okay, you have told them that going to church, every Sunday is supposed to be going to church and all that. Sometimes, like, leave a room for them to see if, because you've taught them, are they going to do that? So giving room also for them to make mistakes so that you can correct them. You'll also be creating a sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility. But what is important is, as a parent, we should have this information. Because you cannot train what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. You only give what you have. So this information is very important for the parents to have. That if you give a lot of room, and sometimes parents like they live to do things in the sense of not learning or not being able to say no to some things. Because how will I say no? Like, I don't have this, and it's like, okay, you don't say it's not possible now. You say, oh, you'll get it. So how about if you don't get it? So you should show a sense of, okay, there are sometimes we can have it, there are sometimes we cannot have it. We have seen kids whereby we go to the supermarket, it's like he goes and like, you have this toy, it's like, I'm having it. If you say no, it's that like tantrums, crying, shouting, falling down, doing all those kind of things. It should mean that, okay, there's sometimes you can have it, and sometimes you cannot have it. And as you continue training that, the child will know. Yes, there's sometimes a parent can have, there's sometimes a parent cannot have. And that's a way of life. In life, there's a time we'll have it, and there's a time we'll not have it. So those things, simple things of training. So it's all about guiding, it's all about making them to know that this is the way to go. There are times you can have it, there's sometimes you cannot, you may miss to have it, you may lack it. So those things, they're important, and those are basics from the Word of God.
That's wonderful. The topic of parenting is very broad, and we cannot be able to exhaust it here. On this show. But what would be the final words that you'd want to leave our viewers with?
The final one that I can leave the viewers with is that we should know that God has given us a responsibility. A responsibility to raise our children in a godly way, ensuring that we meet the needs of our children. And the godly needs of our children is love. We should love our children, we should value them, because Jesus himself, he valued them. Our children need to be appreciated.
Yes.
Our children needs to be acknowledged. And as we raise our children, we ensure that we meet their needs and the godly needs. And even with Jesus Christ as an example, he met these needs of children when he said we should leave children to come to him. So children are valued by God himself.
Yeah.
And we as a parent or parents, we should value our children
Yes.
by meeting their needs. And this will glorify God. So let's make a home a safe home, a home that is godly, and we will raise our children in a godly way.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, I like that.
Yes.
And I think I just want to share with us that you should not feel overwhelmed. I know, as Pastor Kataka has said here, this generation is one that will question you. They will want to understand why.
Yes.
Do I have to do this? Why are you asking of me to do that? Don't be, afraid, because I know that is something that when a child is assertive, some people would want to draw back, and say, all right, then just do whatever you want if you're not here to be directed. But I think as a parent, you have to take your role and responsibility seriously.
Sure.
That no matter how the children may come onto you as, questioning your authority, you still have to stamp that authority for them to know that actually it is you who is in charge and it is you who will give them direction.
Sure.
So let those boundaries be so clear that you are the parent, you are the adult, it is you to show them the way. And once that is clear, because the children are able to tell, they will test your limit. They will be able to want to see how far they can go with you.
Sure.
And secondly, whatever it is that you're doing, do it from a place of love.
Yes.
Whether it's that, it's disciplining, you're disciplining from not a place of spite, anger, but actually you're bringing to correct them in a loving way, that they may know everything that you're doing, you're not doing to harm them.
Sure.
You're doing because you love them and because you desire to correct them and to show them the right way. And I believe also it's important for us to be consistent. Be consistent in whether it's the boundaries that you have set in what it is that you're watching. Because if today you will allow this adult kind of content on TV, if you're going to watch those movies comfortably with them, then the next day probably, because you are in church or it's a Sunday, you decide, oh no, we cannot watch this. No, be consistent. Let the things that you have put in that home, whether it's, the rules, the boundaries that you have, maintain them. Be consistent. Let these children know that with mom or with dad, this is the way we do things. And I believe at the end of it all, once, we are allowing God to help us, because we cannot do this on our own.
Sure.
As we allow God to help us, He will shepherd you. He will give you the wisdom that you need. He will give you the instruction and the direction.
Sure.
Because God desires a godly offspring.
Sure.
And He has entrusted you with that responsibility because He knows you can do it.
Thank you.
Pastor, it was nice having you.
Thank you so
And
much.
if there may be someone out there who wants to maybe get in touch with you, I don't know if you mind sharing with them your contact details.
Yes, my contacts, my mobile number is 0723496808. My email address is jaredkataka@yahoo.co.uk. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was nice again having you. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Thank you.
Guys, this has been Krystalklia Talk. And until next time, subscribe, and share this video with as many friends as possible. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.